Guys, thank you guys, the NextBigWhat team, for inviting me over here. It's always a pleasure. I remember 4 to 5 years back, Ashish has been running this for some time now. People used to come here and speak, and I used to be one of the audience, and I have attended this long back. So it's actually an honor to actually be here and speaking in the same podium, which I was an audience. So I'm sure some of you would be aspiring to be here at some point of time. It's not that far, you just need to persevere. So this is my story, my perseverance. We happen to have created a new market category. At least all the metrics that VCs keep asking on. That seems to be pointing the fact that we have actually created a new market category. For those of you who don't know what Furlenco is, Furlenco, in very, very, very simple words, we rent out furniture. We have put an adjective to that furniture called awesome furniture. Very soon we'll start changing that phrase itself. We're keeping it very simple today because people don't understand the entirety of what we plan to do. In 3 simple words, if I were to articulate what my vision is, what I really want to achieve is that you should never own furniture forever. That's some distance away. I know that you're not there yet. For today, for now, it's about renting awesome furniture. So it is a story of creating a new market category. Why so? Because it doesn't exist, number one. Number two, the mindset doesn't exist. And I'll tell you a simple story about my mom. My mom does not rent furniture as of now. She had a nice little sofa, according to her. According to me, it's like the stupidest sofa you can see. There was some problem with it. The upholstery had gone. She's been using it for 10 years. And I told her, look, you know that your son is doing something like this, right? So you can actually probably use my services. She said, yeah, but you know what? I'm going to fix this sofa. So she actually went ahead and fixed her sofa. She spent 20,000 rupees doing the upholstery of it. I think the sofa was worth around 30,000 rupees. 30,000 rupees sofa, 20,000 rupees worth of upholstery. She's very happy. I mean, I can't deny that. But that's your India or Bharat or whatever it is. Indians still don't think of this new category that we are creating. Renting is something very, very short term. Every person that I talk to from day one when we created, it's always about, oh, so relocators must be renting from you or expats must be renting from you. This must be for something, you know, how many months do you take it for? 2, 3 months, 4 months? That's the perception of rental furniture, which the large chunk of it is still the same, and I'm not denying that. But there is a movement that is starting to happen. For that, I had to believe in it that there is something like that, which is a new market can be created. My background was in investment banking technology. I am not from the furniture background, neither from business background. I don't have an MBA degree. I don't have Agarwal or Bansal as my surname. I don't have any of those credentials. I come from a very typical South Indian family. First degree, second degree separation, there was no business. So it was a shocker for my mom when I said that I'm going to be doing business, quote unquote. She didn't even bother getting into the details of it. I mean, if she had gotten at that time, she would have figured that there's no way, you know. She would have told me at that time that I will anyway upholster my sofa, so what are you doing? So I didn't get into those details. But I just jumped in because I moved back. I was in the US for close to a decade with a company called Goldman Sachs. They said, we'll move you lock, stock, and barrel to India. And I said, no, you just give me a nice little money and I'll take care of myself. So I did that, but it was personally, it was a really, really bad decision because what I did was I sold close to $5,000 worth of furniture for like $300, $400, only because there's actually no value for second-hand furniture. It was not something that I learned at that time. It's a hindsight insight that I got, but that's what it is. Your furniture, what it is today, is equal to the 500 rupee and 1,000 rupee note in a few years down the line. So it is not an asset that will gain you a lot of money. Of course, we can sit down and argue separately as to why it is, and I can give you the math behind it, but let's just move on. Let's just work with me for some time. Believe me that it is possible, right? So for me, it was the fact that, you know, there is a market to be created. It was not easy at all. Everyone that I spoke to right from get-go had a smile on their face. Who who rents furniture here? I mean, furniture is meant to be bought. So that was the mindset. It is the mindset. It is not the majority mindset anymore, but we are working on it, and there is step-by-step movement to it. So the journey was about perseverance. Keep telling the standing here and telling the same story again and again for the past. So this company was founded in 2012. From since then, I've been saying the same story, that you shouldn't be owning furniture at all. Started with family itself. My mom's story, you just know that. My family, of course, my wife supported me. She believed that this can be done. We were exposed to the rental furniture concept in the US. In the US, it's a $10 billion industry. Of course, there's nothing about that, what we're doing here in India. We are the only online furniture rental company in the world which actually designs furniture. And I'll talk about the design aspect as well. So there is that uniqueness that way. And of course, we are the first ones to start it as a brand as well. After us, there are 38 other startups that have been started, including our competitor who has been funded. But we are the largest, we are the biggest, we are the largest funded as well. But yes, story actually starts from the family. Opposition to support to, okay, whatever, man, I don't just care about, just go ahead and do it kind of a thing. Followed by getting the first set of employees. I mean, it was anyway against the tide kind of a journey, renting furniture. Then to go and tell a few folks that, hey, you should join me in that was a very extremely mad proposition. And I call them the mad employees. Many of them are still here, still there in the firm. It was not easy at all. Of course, there was no funding in the beginning. It was bootstrapped. I put my own personal money into this. And I ran it like that for close to 3 years before actually ended up with money. But so it was a struggle trying to get these guys on board and convincing them. Then, of course, a good old friends of ours in the industry. Oh, absolutely not. From day one on, they kept rejecting me. And one-on-one, everywhere. First, obviously, I didn't have the traction. People need to rent furniture, right? And then the belief, I mean, VCs are also Indians in most cases, right? So they didn't believe that this is possible. And then most importantly, then even if I convince them with my belief, of course the next step comes in like, hey, you are asset heavy. We were an asset heavy model. Everything that you can tick off, which will not get you funding, we were ticking off on that. We were asset heavy, we had operations, logistics, there's CapEx involved, anything that you think VCs would not like, we had it. So it was not easy at all. So rejections after rejection after rejection after rejection kept coming. So the only thing that I kept doing was to persevere, keep telling the same story. From 2012 April to 2014 October, it just kept repeating. And of course, what that also meant that money was depleting. The 10 years of work that I had put in, all of those savings went into this. If this had gone bust, if Furlenco had gone bust, I would have been 10 years behind. Plus, now we are in a different generation. We do believe that we can make our money back. So it was just blind faith in the fact that something will work out, right? But then it did come down to those final moments. I remember in the month of Jan of 2014, I think, we came down to the last 5,000 rupees in the bank. I had 20 employees in the company. And yes, of course, I had raised by that time with my friends and family. But this business needs money. The asset has to be funded in some sense. We were not burning money on marketing or anything like that, but the asset had to be funded. So if I had to get more customers, more money has to go into assets. So all of that money was going into that. So it did come down to those last 5,000 rupees, and it was very depressing. And I would say one of the lowest moments. There was another lowest moment which I've told in other conferences, but this was one of those lowest moments where I thought that maybe I need to shut shop. I went for a wedding. One of my relatives came back and then said, you know what, I have persevered for the past 2.5 years. I need to jump back and get the stuff in, get the money in. The way I did that after that 5,000 rupee point was that I started pinging every friend of mine, every senior of mine, and just telling them the same story that just believe me, I'll be able to do it. So the biggest jump there was, I was pinging one of my seniors from college, Manoj, right? NID Jalandhar? sorry, I could forget her name. One of my juniors was out here. I was just, so I had connected with one of my seniors at that time and told him that, hey, you know what, I'm doing this particular thing. Would you be interested in funding me? So good friend of mine, long back. So he said, fine, I'll put in 25 lakhs. So I was thrilled, fine, great, okay. So after a week, I went back to him and said that, hey, you know what, would you be interested in upping the 25 lakhs a bit because I still need a little bit more money. I was looking for like 1 crore. Said, fine, I'll give you 50 lakhs. And I had not spoken a word to him on the phone. It was just a Facebook Messenger. I have that particular chat. So he said, fine, I'll give you 25 lakhs more, so 50 lakhs. We waited for another couple of weeks, and finally, I said, Salil, his name is Salil, I'm going to give you a really, really sweet deal, but can you really push the limit and up the number from 50 lakhs to whatever you can do best? This time, I probably pushed it too long, and someone managed to convince him. This time it was over the phone. He said, fine, I'll give you 1 crore. So he actually gave me 1 crore. I don't know, that was the easiest fundraise that I had till date. He did give me 1 crore. We survived because of that. And with that money, we actually started doubling our sales every month in the year of 2014. And that's when one of our investors, which is Lightbox Ventures, they started watching us. So story is about that, but then what are we trying to really do? This business basically, everybody kept telling me that it's impossible for people to rent furniture. People actually hoard. She, a normal lady, actually hoards money, saves money, and actually buys everything, owns everything. That is not really true, because that lady has now changed to this lady who is now saying that I will leave, I live my life today. I will not keep saving. Yes, there are enough people who are on this side of the table, but there's a newer age urban, what we call as urban millennial, who wants to live the life today. They're changing houses, they're changing jobs, they're changing cars, they're changing smartphones, everything. The only place where they get stuck is this whole furniture and appliance business, because it was never a choice. It was never a viable choice at all. You have a choice. You can move around in your house. You can get a better house, but there was no choice for even cars. Now you have the Ubers and Olas to move around. Yesterday I heard that Ola is buying around 300 BMW, so Ola Luxury is going to be launched. So we'll enjoy. We'll start living the life, right? So this age of people, they don't want to get stuck with something. Commitment is not the mantra today. It's about, I don't want to be committed. I want experiences. I want better things in life, right? So that was the biggest myth that we burst. And the other myth that we burst was that only short-termers would rent. My typical customer of mine stays with me for 18 to 24 months. And majority of them leave me because they have left for a different city where I don't exist yet. They still want to go ahead and buy where the proposition has not gone down well enough. But people are staying, people are sticking with us. We want to make their life easy and easier. And in fact, surprisingly, 40% of my customers are married folks. You would think that only bachelors would rent, but no, married folks rent from us. In fact, 30% of our customers are 35 plus. Now why would they rent? They don't need to rent. I'm sure they have enough money to actually buy furniture, but no, they are also renting. And remember, we have gone from nearly 200 houses before funding to now over 15,000 houses. So a good chunk of them are actually what you think are people who shouldn't be renting, but they're actually renting. So there's something happening out there. So of course, that the journey of 200 to 15,000 basically meant that we were able to showcase to our investors, potential investors, that this journey is happening. The first round of funding happened somewhere around January of 2015. I was just reading an article today that you need to survive for like 1,000 days before you can actually make hay. That is exactly how, it was 999 days. I was just trying to look at the dates when the money hit the bank. From when I incorporated the company to when the money hit the bank, it was 999 days exactly. So it is true. If you can survive for 1,000 days of bootstrapping or whatever you call it, you should be able to get through it. But it was a long and arduous journey. And yes, one of the myths that we burst is that it doesn't need to be necessarily an asset-light, pure tech product company. It can be asset-heavy, operationally heavy, all those mixed together. If you can survive for 1,000 days, you can definitely get your funding, and that's what we've proven. Over the past 18 months, we've raised over $36 million in various different tranches and modes. The next stage was actually to build our team itself. Now this, of course, the first set of employees were mad employees. These guys are also mad employees, but then they have now been shown the vision of never-owned furniture. So the way we went about doing that is to build teams around these three pillars: design, experience, technology. Furlenco stands for these three pillars. We're trying to say that we can't just give you a random furniture which is on the road. We need to actually create something which is not out there. I will show you a couple of those products as well, but contextual furniture, that which is relevant for you, that which is more useful for you today. And I have some examples, but I wouldn't be able to reveal you some of the other things that are coming up in the next 1 to 2 months. If you see, you will see that a lot more contextual furniture that has been never seen before. One of the banes of furniture industry is that once you buy what you call as a quality bed, there's nothing to look forward to after that, right? For 4 to 5 years, you're out of the market typically, right? Because it's not like smartphone. It's a bed is a bed is a bed, right? What more can you change? We think that has to change. We think that why is furniture not smart? I mean, I'm sure there are the IoTs of discussions out here, there are smart appliances, but nobody's talking about smart furniture. Even IKEA, at best, they're doing is charging stations and things like that. Nobody's building contextual furniture which can be connected to the internet. We are thinking in that direction. You will see some product coming out in the next couple of months. So design, technology, and experience. We're combining these three things in creating products which are out there and then offering it as a service. That is what Furlenco is trying to do. And in the hope that we will create enough want in the market that you will love to, I mean, it's not a need to rent, it is a want to rent, right? So you want to rent these products, or rather you want to access these products. The way to do that is renting, because if I were to start selling you these products, it is going to be very expensive, and then the whole point goes away. So part of the journey about being a design-led company is that creating user-centric products. This is one of our first launches. Very, very, very simple product. There is a Bounce 2.0 coming as well, but Bounce 1.0 was about, the insight that we had was we went to these homes in Bangalore, bachelor's homes, and we said, you know, you guys, you're working in Flipkart, Snapdeal, everywhere, Ola, how come like you guys are sleeping on the floor? Every bachelor seems to be sleeping on the floor, and they're perfectly okay with that. When we went deeper into it, we found that furniture is not a priority at all. I will not buy a bed. I mean, even though Pepperfry may be giving me a 40–50% off, but I'm still not going to buy a bed. Why? Because I don't want to get committed to it. Who's going to sell that after I leave this place? That's the gentle mentality. Okay, so is it only about that? No, not just that. I don't want to clutter up my house because I have a lot of house parties. I mean, if I get an old monk or a vodka to my house, I can host 5 to 10 people in my house. That's what I want to do. Okay, so do you know what kind of furniture you want? So that is a wrong question to ask because they don't know what furniture they want. So we just observed them. We found them that they hang out. You know, there's a lot of activity in the house. There's social hanging around, but people want to sleep, people want to drink, people want to do everything, and hopefully it doesn't clutter the place. So this is the answer to that. This is an extremely modular solution for that product. Those of you who attended yesterday's session, one of my colleagues, Kranti, must have demonstrated this as well. It's an extremely modular product where it can be reconfigured as a sofa or a bed or just generally like this. I mean, there's a whole tweet going on as to how you can actually reconfigure this. So it's totally up to you how you want to use it. One of the use cases that we found was that children love to bounce on this, and that's how the name came in, Bounce. Right? So now we're going to tie in technology into this. And that's the Bounce 2.0 series. You will see that. The next product that we came out was this, again, by the way, design, if you're expecting that, you know, you'll have lots and lots and lots of features, but that's not it. Design is also about how we can make life simpler and simple. This, yes, it is a recliner, but every recliner that you know of in the market is the Joey recliner, the Friends recliner, which is your bulky, black or leatherite or one of those things which always breaks the decor of the house. So the insight that we got when we went to homes was that, yeah, recliner is fine, the men love it, but then it's just, it's like a one bulky thing sitting right there. So what do we do about it? So then out came this particular product where we said, we're going to create a product which actually does the reclining bit, but if you bring that down, it actually looks like a chair. Chair with wooden legs. If you notice, recliners don't have wooden legs. So this actually looks like a chair. The moment you sit on it, there's no lever on the right. You can just push back and it actually, you can float on it, and the name float. This, we sell around 10 to 15. I mean, it's out of stock right now. Rent around 10 to 15 every day in each city. Of course, it's for a particular kind of audience. It's for him and her, not for just the him, which is the recliner in this case. So this is just the beginning of the journey. We are now entering into more cooler furniture, so watch out for it. I would request you to come on to our website now and then, check out the next few products. We will probably start having product launches as well. So this is the first time in the history of the world where a rental company is launching products, and that too smart furniture, right? It's not being done. Even here, I haven't heard of Ladder and Pepperfry also doing smart furniture yet. And here's the only reason why you wouldn't do that. Because if you do that, it is going to cost. It is expensive to create these particular things. You will not buy it. One of the products that is coming up and is going to cost around, if I were to sell it, I'll have to charge around 1.5 lakhs or 2 lakhs for one product. Who's going to buy 1.5, 2 lakh worth of product? If I can provide the means to access that particular product, it'll be much better need. And the most important thing about furniture rental is that what you need today is not what you need tomorrow. I mean, you need a single bed today. Tomorrow you need a queen bed. Day after you need a bunk bed for your kids. Lifestyle and life circumstances keep changing. Why do you want to get stuck with something that you can afford today? Well, you're not going and buying the first rental house that you went in. You're not buying the first, the first car that you accessed in your life. You didn't go ahead and buy that. So why are you trying to buy the first furniture that you can afford, right? Get to access stuff which is way much ahead. What you can't afford, let us get you that. So leave that to us, and we will ensure that you have to just fly around with your suitcase anywhere. Typically, we have found that nobody has stayed in one single house for the past 10 years. Everybody moves every 2 to 3 years. If you actually adopt a model like this, your relocation is completely taken care of. That's part of the Furlenco's business. It's free relocation, free swapping, free everything, pretty much. Free cleaning and so on and so forth. So then it was all about, once the story came in, the design came in, money came in, now it's about all scaling up. What we're seeing is that people are adopting this faster and faster. As I said, there was no viable choice before. Now there is a viable choice, so people are jumping into it. Why didn't people do this before? Because people were thinking that people will not rent, but that's not the case. You produce a choice in front of people, and then there's X number of people who will choose this. From 180 houses to now 15,000 and running, and it's going faster and faster now. We are still only in 3 cities, very, very purposeful, because as much as money that we have raised, we wanted to ensure that we just don't go burn ourselves, because behavioral change does not happen overnight. I don't believe in that. It takes time for people to imbibe it. We also need time to keep creating better and better products to increase the value proposition. So we don't want to go to 28, 30 cities and then you're done with your money. Then you can't do anything about this. This business needs money. So we have been, what should I say, slower that way to go to cities, but it has been more purposeful, keep going deeper into the cities. We are very, very deep in Bangalore, nearing 10,000 houses. But what we know now is that how do we get different kinds of customers, different kinds of the TG, target group, as I would say. So where are we now? I strongly believe that we've just scratched the surface. 15,000 in a population of 125 crores is nothing, right? So there's a lot more to be done out there. Essentially what we're trying to do, as I was saying, just to repeat myself, we are trying to give awesome designs. We are trying to make it accessible, and then hopefully at the end of the day, you will not be owning furniture. So in case you have already bought your furniture in the last Big Billion sale, sorry about that. There's nothing much I can do now, but of course you can sell that and rent from us. Thank you. Thanks a lot.